Are you easily embarrassed in public? If questions like this have crossed your mind, then you're in good company. Today we'll be taking a closer look at the nuances of everyday interactions that make up the monotony of life. Let's regret not emptying our bladder 10 seconds after getting into bed. Grab your knitting needles and a blanket because it's time for three old friends to sit around and sew a new patch into their quilt of friendship. So join me, Dion, under the covers with Christian.
Welcome to Patchwork.
And Josh.
Welcome to Patchwork. Now, Josh, you and I, before the episode started, were having a pretty frank conversation about the artist Pink.
Yeah, it's pretty frank.
and her hairstyles throughout the years.
Yeah, so before we get started, we just wanted to drill down a bit on the name of Pink, the artist. When she first came on the scene, she had pink hair.
Now, Dion, are you aware of that?
Well, I think so, yeah. Yeah,
Do you know how her name's spelt?
I would imagine it's spelt with a P.
Yeah.
No.
See, you're already wrong.
Why?
This is the enigma of Pink.
There's no Y there.
Oh, it's just P-N-K.
P.
No.
Exclamation mark NK.
Can I just say we had a perfectly good start to this episode before. We were going to talk about Josh and her birthday, searching for a birthday cake or something like that. But let's run with it.
Yeah, we're talking about Pink's hair. So there was a moment in her career where she went, I don't need the gimmick of the pink
That's
hair
right.
anymore.
Oh, that's amazing.
But it is amazing, and it's pretty monumental because we don't think about that as the publicity stunt that it is, right? She felt comfortable enough to say, I no longer need my hair to be pink.
It's a big call, isn't it? It's like Apple no longer needing iPhones to support their business.
Yeah.
I just find it interesting.
It's exactly the same.
I just find it interesting, like the confidence
Pink apples!
to be like, I'm bigger than that now. I'm bigger than that. Then no one's going to question it and be like, hang on a minute. She should be called blonde.
She did transition though, didn't she? Because she went from the sharp pink spikes to the long lady marmalade kind of tendril, lighter pink into the blonde.
Into the blonde. But she's always had that sort of rock star attitude.
She has. She absolutely has. Which is trademark Pink.
It is. That's her thing. Do you know Pink in Australia for some reason is like bigger here than anywhere else in the world? She holds the record for the most shows at Rod Laver Arena.
Can I just say for listeners, like new listeners to this podcast, just 5 minutes more. Just trust us.
Well, a friend of mine at work swears by Pink. She has travelled to all of her concerts, like across Australia.
Why?
She brings her mum. She brings her. What do you mean? Why?
No, just do it in Melbourne.
No, but have you done
she
that?
loves Pink.
She did 23 at Rod Laver Arena.
You love Mildlife. You've seen them perform in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Why aren't you going all over Australia?
No, because I don't love Mildlife. I like Mildlife. They're great.
So do you have a band?
She loves Pink.
Do you have a band that you would travel anywhere for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
But what
fine.
colour hair
Probably.
do Mildlife have?
Actually, this
First album or second album?
is actually quite good because Josh was saying earlier, Josh was like, I think I'd like to change the colour of my hair. And I was fully supportive of this. And Christian, you have your reservations.
I have my reservations for multiple reasons, but I do not think that the AI mock-up that you did, Dion, of Josh's hair with peroxide blonde
Looked really good. Really
Looked
hot.
pretty great.
Yeah, really hot.
it looked good. I just don't think that...
I can pull it off, right?
No.
If Pink can,
But why would you try and dissuade him from trying it and making a dick of himself? No, but why would you dissuade him? You don't have any... Oh, because you
Listen.
used to have tips when you were younger, didn't you?
Yeah.
Pink tips.
I think you look great as it is, Josh. I think the hair that you have left suits...
Great.
Oh,
Great.
wow.
Just twist the knife a bit.
Listen, Josh, I know how damaging colouring your hair can be, and I don't want to see any harm done to what is
the
still there.
remaining follicles.
That's right.
Well, are you gonna properly consider it, Josh?
Yeah, I'll think about it. I don't think I'd peroxide it, but maybe put a bit of colour in there.
Why do people? What is the attraction of a peroxide?
Have to ask Pink.
Like what?
Anyway, let's move on. One thing I do want to talk about. I work at Sirius doing food delivery, driving and delivering the groceries. And one of the vans is a manual. And all the others are automatic.
Nice to meet you, Emmanuel.
Actually, the name of that van is Frank. So we can call it Frank. And I haven't driven a manual for many, many, many years.
Does sound like you're saying Emmanuel.
Okay. And I know I have my license. I understand the logic of it. and how it works when I'm driving a manual.
Mr. President.
But what was interesting is getting out on the road and like really struggling, stalled a lot. But there were some particular moments where stopped at like a pedestrian crossing and there's like lined by cafes. And I stall and go, and you go, and did it like again, and literally people's heads turning to look at me sitting in their cafes. And I just felt so publicly embarrassed in that moment. I was like, oh man.
Because you become so overwhelmed, right?
So it was just like this moment of like stressing out. I'm like, I've got to get this right. You know, eyes are on you. And they think, look at this idiot.
Do you think there's do you think those people might have gone, they looked over, he's in a van, he's probably not used to it. He deserves our sympathy. Like, I don't think they're thinking this guy's been driving this for a while. He's a hack.
I think people look across and go, "Come on, mate."
Yeah.
Were you
That's
wearing
Christian.
were you wearing a polo?
I had high vis on.
Oh, perfect.
That's worse.
Why? What if it's pink?
No, Christian, the attitude that I think Christian, that's what I would
It's like when you see someone attempting a reverse parallel park and they get it really wrong, and you go, "Oh God,
Wait.
how did you fuck it up that much?"
Are you never that person?
I'm just trying to be one with the common folk here. I'm a fantastic reverse
Really?
parallel parker, but I do make those mistakes elsewhere.
You know what I just realized? The exception to that, like Dion's version of, if I saw there was someone else in the car who maybe looked a bit older than the person driving, then I would have sympathy. If it's just that person and they're stuffing it up, I'm like, come on, mate.
Yeah, is there any excuse for bad driving? Like for that sort of rubbish driving?
I not having driven a manual for many, many years.
Yeah, but then don't be on the road, right? That's horrible.
How do you learn?
What? With a learner's plate on. I did manual lessons as an adult.
Yeah,
and they went horribly.
No, but like by
I've
the
never
end,
done them.
But by the end of the day, I was all right. But it was these first couple of hours, and what was interesting of like just stressing out. Like every time I came to a stoplight,
Yes.
I was like, God damn it, I've got to start because it was just the takeoff I was really struggling. with.
Isn't the moment that this is like, maybe it was an insecurity thing, but as someone who's always loved cars throughout my whole life, never knowing how to drive a manual, because both my parents had automatics, I did lessons as an adult. The moment that you approach an incline, the fact that you are an adult and you've been through some big events in your life, that's all out the window.
Actually, I have a direct story. Christian, our friend Alex, whose place we both stayed at in Tasmania in Hobart, he was like, you stay in my place. It's an Airbnb. He didn't have anyone there on that weekend. And he was like, you can also borrow my car. It's a manual car. And I was there with my partner and she was like, look, I've driven manuals before. I reckon we can do this. So we rocked up to the house. We got the keys. Because Tasmania and Hobart is so hilly.
So hilly.
Super hilly.
Literally, we had to abandon the whole plan
Great.
of borrowing the car because it was up a hill.
Unbelievable.
And it was like, it is a nightmare. Who's the genius that came up with the automatic? Automatic
Or
everything.
hills.
But sometimes being on the hill can be easier using the handbrake start.
Hey, it was facing up.
Yeah.
Right? That's the bad part.
No.
What do? You're fucked if you're up a hill.
You're listening to a full tank of rock.
No, I'm just saying because you can find the sweet spot and then take the handbrake off.
Oh, I've got no idea.
Yeah, but
No
anyway,
idea.
it took me like most of the day to get back into the swing of it.
Yes.
But what I was thinking, the worst one though was pulling up, and I was like, I should have gunned it over. I was at a train crossing, and the train crossing, I'm like, if I stall in the middle of the train, I could be done. So that was a really scary moment. But overall, the worst moments were every time I did it, there was like pedestrians and other people nearby. I'm looking around, and I'm like, they are just hating me. And I realized I had this moment. And I think if I was a younger man, I might have behaved a bit differently. But in that moment, I went, it's all right, mate. It's the first couple of hours. You'll get through it. Don't worry about it.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
you self-soothe.
I said that to him. I was like, it's just the first couple of hours. Then you'll get through it. Don't worry about it.
Did you get better at it throughout the day?
Yeah. By the end of the day, I was fine.
Oh, that's great. That's perseverance. That'll get him somewhere.
Yeah.
But that's knowing from a history of failure, right? But
One way to put it.
all of us knowing it's like you'll get it eventually.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah,
practice this, you'll get it.
It was the comfort in knowing that like you're stuffing this up now, but you'll figure it out.
Are you easily embarrassed though? Like Christian, if you forget someoany's name, is that an easy embarrassment situation for you, or do you cover
That
it
is
well?
the embarrassing
Really?
situation for me because anytime I'm put in a position where I have to introduce two people, I think I have so much anxiety
Yeah.
that because of the prospective embarrassment, right?
You know the weird thing about that sometimes? The name just flies out of your head. You've
Josh-
known the person
Yeah,
for
yeah,
years.
Josh,
and you go, "Oop."
I had this exact thing happen when I was at my last workplace. I was introducing a new member to the team.
You don't remember the name, do you?
People, I remember that it's burned into my brain now, but it wasn't his name that I forgot. I introduced him to the team that I work with every day and had been for a long time.
I know that feeling, yeah.
And then I got around, I was like, there's this person in the development team. There's this person and this person and this person and this person. And then got to the last guy who's actually a really lovely but very shy guy, right? And I was like, and then just looked away from him.
and that's it, isn't it? That's just gone. Your relationship with that guy, gone.
Gone in an
Done.
instant.
Oh,
And you know what I did? I
man.
pretended that I was sick.
What do you
didn't
mean?
know
You
what to
went
do.
home?
I was so embarrassed in that moment that I was like, oh, I had a big night and my stomach hurts so much. I left, looked at his name on Slack, came back in, was like, oh, sorry. Anyway, and
the
John.
intros.
That is unbelievable.
That is wild.
Yeah.
But at least you had the peace of mind. Like some people in that situation will go, "Who the fuck are you?"
Do you know how many times I said that guy's name to him for the rest of the day?
Just to
Whoa,
lock it in.
yeah,
and know.
yeah.
But how did you feel that? Was it just that other interview, or did you realize everyone else in the workplace was like, I can't believe you didn't remember the name?
No, there was obviously a moment that had happened, and everyone was like, I didn't, fucking
Because I
introduce John.
People are unforgiving with that kind of thing, aren't they? Like you can't forget
Yeah.
anything like that. Otherwise, it's just most people would be unforgiving. How about those people that don't give a shit? If you get their name, they're like, "Nah, I'm chill. It's fine."
try not to care.
Yeah.
The only time
Really?
it matters
That's
if
great.
it happens time after time, you know the person long enough.
Yeah,
that is
you
a
said
weird
that
one off.
before.
I know.
Yeah.
That is a weird one off though with you, Christian. It's like I think that can be because it's like that person knows you know their name. You
I
what
know,
mean?
but
Exactly.
in the moment, you don't have the wherewithal to be like, this isn't actually as bad as you're making it out to be. Because if I had that ability to rationalize things in my head, I wouldn't be the person I am now. I wouldn't be doing this fucking podcast.
Because I realize I think the way that I tend to handle so say for instance you're getting on a train or you're waiting in line for something and you maybe slip over or trip up a bit. I find that these days what I'll try and do instead of just like ignoring it, sometimes I'll try and make a bit of a joke about it and acknowledge the fact that I did something. You know how like there might be someone right next to you who saw it happen.
yeah.
And you'd be like, oh, floor's a bit sticky. You know, just like
Jeez, that
call
is
it
funny,
out.
isn't it?
No, but you know what I mean?
I know what you
Like,
mean. Make it
call
more
out.
obvious. Raise it to the surface rather than just ignore it and try and cover it.
Yeah, and just quietly in your own. How would you handle it, Dion?
I think I'd be similar. But I think you always have to look back at the spot. You always have to look back and work out what's happened here.
At the sticky spot.
What's happened? Why is that?
Yeah,
so
you
sticky?
return to the
Why
scene
is
of the
that so
crime.
sticky? And it usually is not my fault. It's usually sticky floor. Yeah, I think I'm a bit the same. Just try and make a joke. Try and make But
so you don't just like head down, march on.
Nah, I don't. No, God, no. No, but
You
it's
call it out every time.
bloody call it out. But it's like if you're at work and you're in the kitchen and you put a plate down on the bloody table and it makes a massive sound. You kind of just recoil a bit, but then you just sort of maybe put your hand on and go, so sorry. Let's go.
Yes, you owned
What
it
about you?
immediately.
What about you?
With a big sound.
Yeah, remember my name, babe?
With a big sound, I think I'm. Yeah, it's
Sound sticky floor.
it's always embarrassing.
Yeah,
I feel
it
like
is.
in those moments, like the second toilet at my home, the toilet the lid doesn't have a soft close mechanism, and sometimes when I use it because I can't be bothered walking the extra 2 meters, and it slams. I embarrass myself to myself.
But you're quite hard on yourself as well. When Christian and I played touch footy, if Christian would stuff up a kick, like a kick for goal or something, he was very, very upset himself. Imagine him not putting a toilet seat down properly.
It is weird though, because it's like, what is that embarrassed? Because you know it happens to everyone, right?
Yeah.
A little weird thing, you knock something over, you drop something,
question.
whatever. Why do we get so
Why?
concerned about that?
Sure, you want to get into your childhood, Josh?
Shame. Shame.
Well, is it anything that happened? Like, is that seminal? I mean, like, I'm scared of spiders because I think my dad always used to just make a big song and dance when there was a spider. By the way, I've killed located 4 wasps in my house.
In
the
your
last-
house?
In the last 2 days. What is going on?
Wasp operatives listening in.
Why? What do they do? Why would I have wasps or bees
In the house?
Geez, they must get
Hang
sick
on.
of. They
Hang
must get
on.
sick. I'm a wasp.
Are you misgendering?
Are they? I don't know. I don't know the difference. But yeah. Anyway, do you know what it is? You know what the problem
No,
is?
no.
Okay, great.
Hang on, you can't tell the difference between a wasp and a bee.
I don't think so.
I think I default to wasp unless I can really make out that it's a bee.
a bee.
That's guilty until proven innocent.
These bees are very, very lazy. Like you go to hit,
If it's lazy, it's a bee.
Hang on, you go to hit them.
Wasps
You
are
have
very-
absolutely no idea how to handle these things.
No, I didn't. And I hit the. I slapped the first bee
Across the face.
I slapped the first bee, and it went ow.
When there's a fly, have you ever hit a fly and it's not swatted it? It's like just moved it?
Yeah.
Give it a little love tap.
And it seems so weird.
What is that? That for the fly? What's that experience? Just a bit of turbulence.
No, I think that's like gale force winds.
But anyway, yeah, I killed the first bee, and I was like, what the hell am I doing? And then I did the trick, the glass with the bit of paper
Oh,
underneath
really?
it.
For a bee? Or a
God,
wasp?
Surely
just
we've
an open door would have been fine. They don't want to be inside.
What? No, well, he seemed pretty chill. He
He was loving it.
why he
Found us on the couch. He was hanging out.
I have also. I'm just thinking about a very specific moment in the past where I experienced someone else's embarrassment, and this is. I just know that both of you will know that this specific thing can really ruin a boy's life. It was after swimming at school. And I hated when our school used to make us do swimming because there were a lot of us who didn't like swimming in front of the skinny boys, but we were made to wear bathers. And so
Budgie smugglers?
myself, yes, Josh, budgie
Christ.
smugglers, myself and another rotund boy, we were hanging together in the change room and getting dried and changing
Geeing each other up.
Yeah, and changing our underpants. And we were doing the towel over method,
Yes.
right? And his towel, very unfortunately, came undone.
Oh, no.
Post pull,
Oh yeah.
So the undies were down, but the budgie smugglers
everything
weren't up.
everything was down.
Right.
Oh, man.
This is post pull.
How many kids are in the pool? How many kids
Post-pool.
are? How many
This is
kids-
everyone in the change room now.
Oh, no.
Okay.
And full exposure to the whole change room. And it's not like no one noticed. Everyone noticed.
Christ.
And in that moment, I felt so sorry for him, but also felt so happy that it wasn't me experiencing this
Yeah.
because
Jeez, that's nice.
because the look on his face was like, this is it for me. This is forever. This has happened in my first year of high school.
Oh,
Did he get a nickname?
No.
That's lucky.
No,
know what?
no. It's worse. People stopped talking to him.
Oh, man. You know what I thought what that story was going to go? And it could in an alternate reality Christian was like, so then I dropped mine as well.
That's what I thought. Oh no, I thought you were going to give him the towel,
Flop it over.
and that's why we call you small.
No, that would have been the right thing to
Is it-
do.
is it-
but I stared. As if you're not staring.
Yeah.
Anytime you get an
How
opportunity
rare-
to stare another man's penis.
I guess back then it was pretty rare.
Yeah.
Probably now I'd say as well.
But also,
Quite
as a
rare.
13-year-old boy, you're like, I've been exposed to a couple of penises in my life, but I kind of want to know what else is out there for my age
What are my
group.
peers working with?
Yes. Yeah,
See,
absolutely.
isn't like high school embarrassment like the worst one? And I remember I was on the train once, and we're just getting the train, and there was some schoolgirls there as well when I was doing the musical with them, all sort of hanging out and stuff. And you know how some of the some of the
yeah.
chairs they fold up and fold down, like
Yeah.
the benches,
Yes.
so that you have more space when people are standing.
Yep.
And so she went to sit down and like put it down, but then it retracted back up again
no.
before she sat.
Oh,
so then
awful.
sat on the ground, smacked her head on the thing. And I'm like, that must have really hurt. And she's like, oh my God. And then put it, and we sat in the chair. And it was like, she was just playing it like as cool as she could. And I'm like, wasn't like, I would have been like grabbing my head and stuff.
Yes,
It wasn't
yes.
like bleeding or anything
Oh,
like that.
God.
But I was like, you just hit your head. And you should be like,
Oh, girl.
that really
Yeah.
hurt. And it's just you could see the embarrassment on her face, like, I can't believe in front of these boys.
Yes.
I've just sat down and made a fool of myself.
What would you have done? What do you think in that moment, channeling yourself in that moment, what would you have
Back
done?
then, what
Yeah.
she did, that's the best you can do.
But we
Play
still,
it off like
I
it didn't
think
happen.
that we still, like, if we're out and about in the city or something and you accidentally kick the side of a seat and your shin, I don't go oh, and just rub my shin a lot like I want to.
Jeez, that's hard hitting yourself in public, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's really
Stub
hard.
toe.
You kind of just have to play it off like it's not all I'm thinking about right now.
What's your reaction at home? Like I've got the corner of I smashed my shin on the corner of my bed a couple of weeks ago. It was such agony. I think I just went,
Yeah, Dion. Yeah, give me. So you kick it.
Yeah.
Is that your immediate reaction?
that
to
was
scream?
it. That was as best as I can do.
Josh, you've stubbed your toe.
I think I'm swearing a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Lots of
swearing a
swearing.
lot.
Yeah.
And then when it sort of, you have that initial moment where it doesn't really hurt, and then the pain starts to settle in a bit. And then it's really like, I rub it.
Oh,
rub
God.
it.
Rub
yeah.
it, rub it, rub it.
Don't know what that does.
What about you, Krish?
If I stub my toe, I think I've gotten better. I blame the thing that I kicked.
Yeah.
I'm like, you
Yeah.
effing see?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really attacking the corner of the bed or whatever
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
And on rare occasions, I'll blame myself. I'm like, you idiot. Like,
Really?
if it's something that's like, I probably
that-
should have been able to avoid.
Yes, that's frustrating.
Oh, you idiot. So dumb.
And a repeat thing. Do you ever? Would you? Because on the corner of my bed, I've put like a padded sticky thing. So if I was to hit myself again, it would hurt. Do you ever try and rectify the thing that you? You know what I mean?
You've baby-proofed your...
Yeah, all the
No, I haven't.
Me neither.
I just cop it.
all the power sockets as well. I've plugged them up.
Look at it.
Just a
Have you?
reference to the baby thing. It was a bit late.
All right, let's take that as our cue to move into some horoscopes.
This week, Taurus. Upsets and disappointment are par for the course. You should stay away from golf courses. Picking up a golf club could throw a monkey wrench into your routine, but almost definitely add a golf club into your routine and probably induce vomiting. Taurus.
Aries.
Aries?
This week, you should try and schedule your haircut midweek and towards the end of the day. That way you can round off the day nicely whilst also limiting the conversation with your hairdresser, who's visibly exhausted. Remember, you're going to get tired standing on a tram, so imagine if you had to stand on a tram for 8 hours cutting someone's hair. And imagine all that mess.
Pisces. Take a moment to look around you. Observe the space you exist in. The space that you created. It's time to get more furniture. You've almost lived here for a full year.
It's beautiful.
Now it's time to play a game we call Never Seen It. We've played it a couple times before. Essentially, we're going to give... It's a little game we play between each other. We're going to give a genre of the film. And what we're looking for, we're going to play out, and using the first instincts of the person you're throwing it to, that Oscar-winning moment.
Yeah.
That's that little scene they play
The
at
little
the Oscars.
snippet when they're reeling off the nominations.
Yeah.
They go Joshua Porter for insert movie.
Yeah.
Bang.
And then they play it, and normally there's like a big... some climactic line at the end of that, and that's what we're driving towards
Do
in
we
these
have an
scenes.
applause sound? Do we ever have that? An applause sound?
Oh, we'll have an applause sound down,
can't
and it'll be
believe-
added in post.
I-
So for everyone listening to this, absolutely.
Well, I might kick it off, and I'll kick it over to you, Dion. It's an Australian coming-of-age story.
Yep.
And we'll just play out the little scene, and you'll be finishing it off, okay? I really like you, Jeremy.
Really? I didn't think you like people like me.
I've really liked you for a really long time, Jeremy.
Well, what are we going to do about it?
I don't know. I just never felt this way before.
Well, can you tell me what you want to do about it?
I think Jeremy, I think it might be love.
Love, like my two dingoes.
Oh my god!
Trying to come up with some Australian.
That is so shit. I love that. I loved watching that pan out because it was what 3/4 of the way through Dion, you realized you were supposed to.
But I was wondering where's the setup, and I was like, that doesn't have to be a setup. I'm going to say it whenever. God, love my two dingoes.
I didn't do the name of the film. Sorry.
What's it?
I don't know.
Oh,
I forgot to prepare this. Anyway, you guys will have it. So
Yeah,
carry
right.
on.
a film called My Two Dingoes.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a great film that came out a couple of years ago. It's a romance called Heaven Hasn't Knocked Yet. This is a scene about a young man who finds solace dating an older woman.
Oof.
And you can work out which one you want to be. Okay. What would you like to be, Christian?
I'll be the young man.
Okay. I'll be the older woman. I never thought that I'd meet someone who just understood me so well. It's incredible.
I'm just happy every day to be allowed to be in your presence.
But what do you get out of this? What is the thing that you really want from this?
I want to learn. I want to absorb you.
Oh, goodness.
Josh,
Yes.
my film is a World War II epic with the
Great.
title Fallback.
Ooh.
Well, to be honest, I thought I'd be more afraid, sir.
You don't know what fear is, son. When you go up that beach, there's things there you've never seen before.
Sir, should I be afraid?
Afraid? You should be shitting yourself.
I was I was in the kitchen the other day, and all of these dirty dishes were piling up, and I was fed up. But I realized I have a very, very specific way that I like to wash individual things, and this is not grown from. This is just grown over time. There's no
Is it
expertise.
trial and error?
It's a bit of trial and error, but also probably a lot of error, a lot of error, because I feel like I can learn a lot from how other people clean the dishes, but I haven't really watched.
So do you find that when you're washing, because you know you have the same kind of knives and whatever in your house, do you wash those things the same way every time now?
I do, and I'm not very experimental with how I
No.
wash, but I feel like I should be, because there must be a better way. And also with drying as well. Like I would love to know how you guys dry your knives.
I haven't dried a dish for a very long time.
You're kidding me. That's incredible. Why?
Because I let them drip dry every single time. And then I'll put them away even if they're a little bit wet, like a tiniest little bit wet, I'd rather put them away than
You don't even get a Mr. Tea Towel over here will not even use the tea towel to dry.
Yeah.
Huge.
They're too busy being on the bench.
Yeah.
But Josh, what's your approach? And maybe I've written down a couple of items that I sort of the number one item that I struggle with is a strainer. So if I pop this strainer in the sink there, Josh.
So we're talking
I'm gonna pop it in there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Is it one of those really, really fine ones?
Oh yes, it is.
Okay.
You're correct.
Oh, like a sieve.
It's kind of like a sieve. So it's
So
usually
what would
after
you ordinarily,
rice. So usually I've washed
Yeah,
a bit of
okay.
rice in it,
Ah.
and then little bits of rice everywhere.
Bits of rice.
I think
What
what
am I
I
do? Yeah, bits of rice.
Yeah,
I give it a good wash.
I think what I do is I will, with my soapy sponge, wipe around the lip a bit. But for the most part, I just kind of flip it over
and let the water run
and then
through it.
hold it kind of vertically and just like let the water run through it a few times.
Christian, you're nodding your head.
I'm doing a lot of hand stuff recently with washing dishes.
That's nice.
I've kind of thrown away the scourer and I've thrown away literally thrown them away. They're still there. And the sponge, but I'm doing a lot of kind of hand, like with the sieve. I'll flip it upside down, get the water running over it, and then just kind of get my hand, like I'm kind of giving a head massage.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, because
Gloves?
No, just my hand
What
over
about
the
you?
back of it.
Josh, you
Nah,
using
never
gloves?
gloves.
I bloody love gloves. We've talked about that before. I bloody love gloves. And you know what else I love? I love the brush. The cleaning brush I use for
pathetic.
everything. Why is it pathetic? It's genius.
Why is it genius? What function does it serve that you do not have achieved by a sponge or a scourer?
I don't need
It
to.
doesn't do both.
Yeah, I don't need to touch any. I don't need to touch anything.
But you do.
It keeps it at
But you
length.
do.
It keeps it at
This is the
length.
thing about
Arm's
this is
length.
the
Brush
thing-
length.
This is the thing about brush people.
Oh God. Here we go.
people.
Not again.
I don't think you're getting a good enough clean. Like so a sponge or a cloth or something.
Oh, wow.
You're getting like a full coverage, and you're getting your hand in there and wiping off all of like the
reckon?
scourer or the brush. They're for the
brush-
they're for the nitty gritty.
The brush is good, and then you know what I love about the brush? Flip it over. If you've got one, flip it over. You got the hard plastic scraper. That's great.
Wait, well, what would you use that hard plastic scraper for?
Like a lasagna dish or something.
Oh, yeah.
Getting up those guys.
Hey, you cleaning a lasagna? Just putting water over it.
No, I'm letting it sit.
Oh, here you
with
go. I
warm
got one
water.
for you, Christian.
And then you don't have to put any elbow
I've
grease
just-
into it.
I've just thrown a big lasagna tray in front of you.
Unbelievable.
do you-
Where's the lasagna? Fucking Garfield over here. Finished the whole tray.
So what's your first step?
So it's finished. It
Yeah.
has got crispy bits on
Yeah,
it.
yeah. It's
cool.
just
So
freshly
it's going to be it'll be a tough one to wash.
Yep.
So I am putting a drizzle of dish soap,
Balsamic.
and then bread, and then mopping it all up. Yes, a drizzle of soap, detergent. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then warm water, and then I'll let that sit either on top of the stove or in the oven with some heat.
In the oven.
In the oven with some heat.
No, residual heat. Because
Still.
I presume you just finished cooking your lasagna.
Yeah. So then how long till you come back to it?
Either the next day or if
Okay.
I'm filling up for it later the night.
So later that night or the next day,
Yeah.
how you were tackling it then? You
So
empty the
once
water out, or-
that's happened, yep, I've got my coconut fiber scourer. Yep.
Don't heard of that.
Loser.
And and then I am very lightly just taking off everything and giving it a little bit of a sponge as well.
Hang on. You're talking about the ideal situation. If you
This is the situation.
No. But the next morning, let's say that it hasn't done the job. What's your next move?
The whole point of doing the soap and the water
Yeah.
is so that it has the same outcome every time.
But sometimes, Josh, do you find that like if it's a lasagna dish, here's an example: lasagna dish, you haven't filled it up to the top
Yeah,
with water
yeah,
overnight,
yep.
and it's burnt around the edges.
Yep.
What are you doing there? You leaving it for another night?
Still-
throwing
getting steel
the
wool.
tray in the bin.
You're getting with steel wool, right?
Yeah, you've got to
Yeah.
go something
And are
high octane.
are you leaving it flat or are you picking it up and rotating it?
When I'm cleaning it,
Yeah. Because what I will
picking
often
up and
do-
rotating.
Yeah, so I'll have the bottom bit will be submerged, and then so I scrub the bottom bit up submerged, rotate, scrub the bit
Yeah.
submerged, rotate,
Yep.
rotate as I work my way around.
Josh, is that a similar approach to a big pot?
Yeah, big pot. I sit it.
Big pot sucks, doesn't it? One of the worst.
I sit
Big
it on
everything
its-
starts. Big farmer. What else have
Yeah.
we talked about here? Big everything.
Big banana.
Big banana.
Flip it on its side, and then I kind of using the half submerged water, soapy water, I'll sort of scrub, and rotate it around.
You say half submerged water. Is that something you're conscious of when you're washing? You're conscious of not leaving the water on? Or are you pretty liberal with the water when you're washing up?
Well, I want to know how you guys start off. Do you start off and fill a little sink boy?
Nah, I should. And it's always great.
Can I just say, Dion, having watched Josh in the past, he literally puts about 3 mils of water in there and uses that and washes everything using just that 3 mils.
What do you think of that?
Yeah.
Are you embarrassed?
What do you think of that? No, because it's genius. So you do a little bit of water, dish that up,
Genius.
and then as you're going,
See what Einstein has to say about that?
every time you rinse something, you're adding to that volume. So every time you rinse something off and it goes over, that volume's coming up, and then you got plenty
Hang
of
on a
water in there
second.
for the ending stuff.
Because it's easy.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
So you're constantly letting the water. You're adding more water. Oh, you're not
Start-
letting it run. Though.
No, not letting it
Yes,
run.
yeah,
Just
okay.
got a few knives and forks in at the start. When they're done, you rinse them. You're adding
so
more
you
water in.
prioritize larger dishes for the end?
Yeah, because it's more full.
What do you do?
I've never used a system like that. My system is much like yours. It's disrespectful to the water scarcity.
Would you consider using a system like that for a week? Let's say.
It's
Please.
very. Listen, Josh.
Get on board.
I'd consider it, but there's a lot of thought involved.
Yep.
And at that point, for me, having cooked the meal, eaten the meal, probably like sat on the couch, watched something, and then I'm like, fuck, it's late. I want to go to bed. I've got to wash the dishes. At that point,
You're done.
I'm just fucking.
Well, what about your drying, Josh? Well, you seem to have that down pat.
The only one I really dry are like the big kitchen knives that go back in the block. Everything else will be, I was going to say air dried. Is that the right way to say it?
Air drop.
Drip dry.
Yeah.
Drip dry.
Air drop it. How about you, Dion?
Well, I do. I will dry. So
Will you dry a plate and put a plate back in?
No, dishwasher. Very lucky to have a dishwasher.
Yeah,
I've got a
same.
dishwasher,
Christ.
but then I don't love drying. Drying's
Sometimes
a
a
drag.
big thing I'll dry so it
Yeah,
can
you
go
gotta-
straight back.
And that's very satisfying. Washing a big thing, drying it straight away,
Yeah,
putting it
and
straight
then it's
back.
done.
Perfect.
There is nothing like the wash of a dishwasher. I
Yeah.
look at the cutlery that comes out of mine when I use it, because I don't very often.
Really?
Never. For one person,
Oh yeah.
yeah, but then it takes you like a week to fill it up, right?
yeah, but I don't have enough crockery.
To last you.
Is that the collective noun for plates and bowls?
Yeah.
Crockery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Clever,
Don't have
that
enough.
up.
Don't have enough of that to get me through the week.
Here's one for you, Dion. I'm going to throw this in front of you. It's a potato masher.
Oh, this is a nightmare, Josh.
Yeah.
The mash is great.
Yeah.
But this is a nightmare. I mean, this is where the cleaning brush really comes to the
Christian
fore.
is stuffed here.
You've got
What
no
do you
idea.
mean?
You've
if
got
you're
no
trying to use
idea.
a sponge on a potato masher,
Well, I don't understand what you mean by potato masher.
Well, then you're definitely
Are you
stuffed.
talking about the thing that you push?
used to mash potatoes. Yeah, that's what
Hey.
I'm talking about.
I'm Italian, mate. We don't mash potatoes.
Okay.
Get a grip.
Yeah, it's what is it, Josh? It's got a handle. No, we don't need to describe it. For
People
just
know
the
what a potato
Italians
masher
listening to this.
Yeah. Wait, you talking about the handle with the flat base,
Yeah.
like the kind of
Yeah,
like
yeah,
looks
yeah,
like a cow print? Cow
Yeah,
print?
yeah,
sure.
Same thing. Yeah.
How's that difficult to wash?
Well, because it's got lots of holes in it, and it's
And that gets heaps of potato in it.
Yeah, so
And it's hard to get that potato out.
But in fairness, it doesn't crisp up or anything, so it's
No,
quite easy to
but
wash
how are you
off.
getting that out?
Just at the bottom of the sink, face down.
Yep.
Scrubbing brush like that, and then on the side, and then we're done.
Do you inspect afterwards?
I do. No, I don't, because I know I do a bad
Yeah,
job.
great.
I'm shocking.
I always inspect.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm shocking.
that is one of my biggest pet peeves.
I imagine it would be.
Yeah, is when you re-inspect something that you think that you've washed. It's
not good.
It's hell.
And then you find that you like
Tell
missed
you
a
what,
side.
Tell you what, that's
Yeah.
it. That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Getting someone you don't
Yes.
know going, hey, I don't think you cleaned this properly. It's like, that is pathetic. Absolutely pathetic.
Yeah.
Hey, Christian, I've got one for you. I'll just tell you that.
Oh, thanks, Josh.
Little old grater. How you going about the grater?
Oh wow,
Ooh,
we
I'm
have
fine with
entered.
grater too. What? You guys
What
make
does
it
that
seem
make
as though these things are impossible to wash.
All right, I'm just asking you how to do it.
All right, what did you grate?
Carrot.
Carrot.
hang
The
on, hang on,
easiest
hang on.
thing.
And cheese.
Cheese and cheese.
Oh,
yeah.
no, not mine. Not mine.
Fake cheese.
Fake cheese.
Hey,
All
hey,
right,
I'm going to
yep,
be specific.
gotcha.
What sort of grater is it? Is it one of the ones that you
Square ones.
Okay, what's the brand?
The
those-
boxy
Those
square
big
ones.
boxy shit ones.
Yeah.
Shocking.
That take the ends of your fingers off.
Yeah, so I'm like,
Oh, there's heaps of blood and human skin in it as well.
yes, so on the outside, I'm going against the grain.
Obvious.
Yeah,
No, you mean with the grain.
with the grain.
Yeah.
God, with the grain. Obvious.
So he's grating the coconut thing.
No, yeah, I'm just kind of like, yeah. So I'm going with the grain.
Yep.
And then
Desiccating the coconut.
and then I don't even need to finish this answer, do I?
Do you have it? But I'm more talking about the process.
Yeah.
Like, do you? Are you
I know what
'cause
I'm doing.
I do it like
I'm getting
the
my,
same
I'm
way
getting my
every
hand
time.
in there.
I can't believe he uses his hand.
Oh my
On
God.
the grater, using your hand to clean the grater. That is psycho.
No, wait
That's
a second. No,
crazy.
it's got a sponge in it or a cloth.
Okay.
It's not just my hand. I'm not just fisting this grater.
Hang on. A sponge or a cloth? What is it? We don't want you making stuff
It's
up.
a cloth. It's a cloth.
Okay.
It's a
cloth.
compostable cloth, okay? I care about this stuff, but I let the water run.
Wars in the future will be over. Cloths, not water. But Christian, I think that you need to. It sounds like
What?
you need to refine a little bit because
I'm really happy with the way
Nah,
that I
he'd
wash
be great at
dishes.
it. It's
Yeah,
full-
they come out clean.
Yeah.
They're great, but I do waste a lot of water. Josh?
I've got one last one for you guys.
Yeah.
Your drink bottle, or any kind of bottle. How are you tackling that? What's your approach, Dion?
not washing it. Just don't wash it. Just don't wash it for a while until you realize, this stinks, and
Yeah.
then you wash it out.
How do you wash it out?
Christ, how do you?
For me, yeah, go.
Hot water.
Yeah, piping hot water.
Yep.
Big old shake, right?
No, I never shake it. No, I wouldn't do that.
You're putting detergent in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Piping hot water.
You're just doing hot water?
Don't you? Do you need to put detergent if it's hot? Doesn't hot water just kill everything?
If it's maybe over 100 degrees.
Yeah.
100 degrees.
100 Portuguese.
Cleaning all your bottles. You got to do really hot water.
Yep.
With a bit of detergent.
Yep.
Maybe like a third of the way up. Give her a good shake.
Hang on, is the detergent killing any bacteria?
I don't
Or it's
know.
just
But it feels right.
I thought that was the whole point, was that it like binds to the fat and takes the fat
Yeah, I
off.
think it's to do with that stuff.
But less about killing of the bacteria.
Yeah, probably.
The most important bit is the top, isn't it, of the water
I
bottle?
think so.
It
And
just
I go
stinks.
around that with some steel wool just to really...
You really love your steel wool.
Yeah, it gets in there.
What the hell is that?
Steel wool. Yeah,
It gets shit
steel
done.
wool.
Is that a
I
sheep?
gave up.
Steel wool.
That's a
Getting
type-
it done.
I gave up on steel wool after there were these two incidents in a row where I pricked myself really badly with it.
Awful.
And
Yeah.
and I was like, why am I using this?
Because it's good for really, really tough stuff that's hard baked on.
Josh, coconut husk.
Thank you so much for listening to Welcome to Patrick the Robot is Back. Thank you so much. This is normal Dion back. Great to be with you. It's been 2 weeks, and you know what? It's going to be another couple before you hear from us. So we hope you can wait. Josh, we know what we're doing at the end of this episode. This is like a well-oiled machine now, isn't it?
Yep, so we're across all the socials. You can find us there. We've got a Patreon if you want to support the show, thanks to our existing Patreons. And Christian, anything else?
If you are on your phone right now, which you are,
Everyone is.
leave a review, would you? Go to Spotify or go to Apple Podcasts. Leaving a 5-star review does plenty
Oh, it
for
does
us.
so much. And you know what else does much? You know what we do? We sew a patch into our quilt of friendship. And Josh, what patch did you sew?
Thank you.
Josh is hating the cutoff.
Thank you, Dion. My patch this week is me wondering why the van keeps stalling, then looking down to discover I'm trying to put the potato masher into first. Christian, what patch did you sew this week?
Thank you, Josh. This week, I sewed into my patch an advert for a sponge created by my character in the Never Seen It game, which has the tagline, "I want to absorb you." And Dion, what did you sew into your patch this week?
My patch this week is a prepubescent Christian in the bathroom pretending to be mature by attaching coconut husk above his genitals. Thank you so much for listening to Welcome to Patrick for another week. I've been Dion.
I've been Josh.
And I've been Christian.
And a special goodbye to our listeners in Croatia. Do videnja.
Do videnja.
Do videnja.